Okay, we are now live, Donna. Thank you
Yeah.
all. Yay, thank goodness. And thank you all for your patience. We just had some connectivity issues, but we're good to go. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Kimberly Bruce. I'm going to be the host today for the first session of day 2. Can we believe we're already day 2 of TMF week? I just want to make sure that everyone can hear and see us okay. So just, put a thumbs up or write in the chat that you can hear us. That would be awesome. So we can know that everything is working properly the way that it should. So just let us know if you can hear and see us. And I see some people here from Boston and from London. That's great. Okay, perfect. I'm seeing some emojis coming in. Also, please note that there's a 15 to 20 second delay. So just want to make sure that we're getting all of that. And welcome everyone from all over. And also write in the chat where you're dialing in from. Just want to go through some housekeeping rules. Just so that you know, all the sessions, every single one of them will be recorded and made available at the end of the day. And you'll also have the slide deck so that you'll be able to refer back to the actual slide decks and presentation. All of the attendees will be receiving a certificate of attendance for the entire TMF Week conference, not just for one session. All questions will be presented at the end of the Donatella's presentation. So be on the lookout for that. So please engage, ask questions. This is what Donna is here for, to present and to answer all of your questions. And networking break, make sure to head over to the lounge, visit Montrium's booth, and just get to know people, connect with them, because this is what TMF Week is all about, connecting and being part of the community. So just want to go through the session timeline. So the session is going to run roughly around 30 minutes. We're going to try to get through it as quickly. I know that we had a little bit of a late start. And we're going to have some question period after the session. If we don't get to all the questions, Donna will reach out to you and answer any questions that you might have. And now on to our session topic, your not so secret weapon for inspection readiness. TMF Health Checks with Donna. So I'm going to pass the baton over to you, Donna, and just have you share your screen.
Thank you so much, Kimberly, for this great presentation and for the support of anything. So just let me share the slides with you.
No problem.
And let's start. So after some delays, sorry everyone, and welcome to this second day of TMF Week. A very brief introduction of myself. So after 14 years, I'm TMF services in Montreal to become head of TMF services with a background in clinical development, specializing in neonatology and rare disease. My attention was always on training and documentation management with a big passion for TriMaster file. In fact, I was the ambassador to lead the department from paper to electronic TriMaster file, and this passion took me to Montreal in 2021. Right this year, I also joined the CDISC TMF Reference Model Education Governance Committee, always to improve and develop and engage people in TMF culture. So let's start with the guiding principle of inspection readiness. When it comes to TMF inspection readiness, I think that this is a very cool word that everyone, loves and want to achieve, but the meaning is quite complex and it's quite challenging to define what is behind TMF inspection readiness. And I think that we can consider it as something that is like an iceberg, where the very top is completeness, quality, and timeliness. I think that we all agree that these three main areas are the principal one to ensure inspection readiness of a TriMaster file, but behind the water, there are also the TMF plan, the oversight, the compliance with regulation, the ongoing quality checks to be done on the TMF, the data dynamic convention, the email management, the notify process, the guarantee of a long storage of your trial master file. So there are lots of other aspects of the TMF inspection readiness. And this is why it's really important to have an holistic approach and a complete approach to your trial master file, because when the inspector come, the inspector can come and see that your TMF were incomplete or inaccurate, that there was a failure to define the TMF within the quality system, and that there were several issues identified with procedures. That the paper TMS was used as a document archive rather than a working TMF. The documents and data were not uploaded in a timely manner. That the SOP were supposed to detail the TMF best practice for quality management did not define the TMF. So this is just an example of the finding from inspectors versus TMF, because the expectations are very high when it comes to trial master file. And why? Because the trial master file is the basis of every inspection. When the inspector come, they're going to come and check your trial master file. They're not going to check your protocol, they're going to check if you're in compliance with your protocol. And that compliance can be proved and demonstrated just through the trial master file. This is why trial master file is really crucial and important for our clinical trial management, because it's the only evidence that a sponsor has to demonstrate the compliance with regulation, with requirements, is the proof that we did everything to ensure the patient safety, the patient rights, the patient well-being, and also the data integrity, so that the data of our clinical trial are reliable. And not only, trial master file is our proof to show that we were in compliance with SOP, with our internal processes, with all the regulation, because there is ICA-GCP, which is a standard quality criteria, but there is also the local and country regulation to refer to, that we are in compliance with what the protocol says, that we are in compliance with some quality criteria that we have set up internally, and that we are in compliance, that we are following our study plan. For example, that we are doing all the monitoring activities according to what we establish in the monitoring plan. Now it's your turn, because I've got a poll question for you. So is your organization driven by a TMF inspection readiness culture? Because we have understood that TMF is the basis of inspection. So we want to make sure that all the company is aware about that relevance of the TMF. And so yes, no, and I don't know. And please, as Dawn said yesterday, be honest in your answer.
Excellent. So we're running our first poll. We're going to give you a little bit of time to answer. And like I said, with the technical difficulties and also the fact that we are 15 to 20-second delay, going to give you guys some time to answer. If you guys go to the right side of your screen, there is a poll section. Just launched the first poll. Is your organization driven by TMF inspection readiness culture? We're going to give this a few seconds, Donna, so that people can get in their answers. Everyone move over to, okay, perfect. Everyone just move over to the poll section. I'm just getting it, and it's coming in real time. It looks like there's a winner.
Okay.
And to that. And I'm going to give this maybe 5 more seconds.
Okay.
Okay, guys, ending the poll now. And yes, we had 83% that said yes to the question.
Okay.
10% said no, and 8% said I don't know.
Okay, great. So I think that we all, even if, not everyone has a culture, a robust culture of TMF and inspection readiness inside their company, I think that we all agree that it's relevant and it's crucial, because inspector can deny a marketing authorization. So we want to succeed in an inspection. But the real question I think is how can we be inspection ready at any time in our trial master file management? So I think that the very starting point to ensure inspection readiness is the document quality check, and I want to explain you why. We discussed yesterday with Paul that the relevance of completeness in trial master file. Yes, it's true. I mean, if you think about the trial master file as a big book, obviously, every pages has to be there to be able to reconstruct the story, to be able to understand what happened in the clinical trial. But also the quality of each single pages is relevant, because if you have the entire book, but a pages is not readable or is not accurate, the quality matters, because even the quality makes the story of a clinical trial. So to ensure the document quality, you have some standards, some principles, some criteria that you can refer to. And I think that you all know CAPA++. We are talking about them in this TMF week several times. I think that you all know good documentation practice. And I think that some of you can know also the Rutola criteria, which are criteria for document QC developed by TMF reference model. So we've got some tools to ensure document QC. But don't limit yourself to this tool, because remember that each document is linked to another one in the TMF, because it's a story. And so they are all pieces of a story. And so whenever you check, for example, a delegation log, you have also to check the CV of that delegation log, the GCP certificate, the medical license of the IP and the sub-investigator IP. So there are lots of other related documents to be checked. So don't forget also the link between the story inside the TMF, and also the process link, because we know that the majority of the time, the outcome of a process, of a company process, is a document. And so we can check, for example, if the timing of monitoring visit is in compliance with what we wrote and agree in the monitoring plan. So don't forget to cross-check the document and cross-check also the processes inside your TMF. So I think you can now understand that we have different level of QC inside our trial master file. We start from the document quality check, and we have the COA, the Rutola, the GDP practice that we can refer to. And then we have a more holistic and complete approach to trial master file, which means health checks, metrics, KPI, oversight, and all the other aspects of inspection readiness. And at the top of that, there is our quality assurance with the SOP, working instruction on how, for example, perform the QC, internal audit, guideline issued by regulation and competent authority, mock inspection. So it's a very complex world with different level, inside the TMF. So to summarize this part, check the single page of your trial master file, the single document. Check the entire book, so do health check, oversight, verify metrics, and ensure the quality of your trial master file. Sorry if I go a little bit faster, but it's just to try to save some time. And please don't worry, I will be available to answer to your questions even offline. So do you apply different level of QC to your TMF? Because, for us at Montreal, we are really engage with this kind of approach of different level of QC, but I want to hear if you have this kind of approach in your company as well, in your daily job as well.
Okay, we're running the second poll. Please head over to the right side panel. It is now live. You guys can please give in your answers. We're going to give you some time to answer since there is a 15 to 20 second delay. I want to make sure to get everybody's input. What I have to ask you, Donna, what do you think the winner will be in terms of the poll?
Well, what do you think? I hope yes, definitely.
You hope so. You would hope it's yes as well. Exactly. I'm gonna give just 5 more seconds. Make sure that everybody is able to get in their answers. I'm ending the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and showing the results. So it looks like 88% said yes, 7% said no, and 5% said I don't know.
At eTMF Health Check, after knowing that all our attendees are doing different level of QC,
Okay.
which makes me very happy. So, but I don't know if every one of you is doing a regular health check on their TMF. So I think it would be challenging to understand where to start. So first of all, I think that obviously a detailed planning is really relevant for performing an health check, because you have to identify the roles, the responsibility, and the deliverable. So what at the end of the day are you going to have? A PowerPoint presentation, a report, some dashboard. So what is the final outcome of this activity? Secondly, I think it will be very important to define the expectations. So am I going to verify the quality? Am I going to verify the completeness? What am I going to do with this health check? And then after having defined expectation, is also important to define the level of quality, because we can't assume that everything will be perfect. Yes, we would like to have everything perfect and inspection ready, but we can't. So we need to define some tolerance leaving and some level of quality for each, processes and artifact in our TMF. And then don't limit yourself to just, find the issue, find what is not going in your TMF. So develop corrective and preventive action to solve that issue. And don't forget to go on to continue monitoring the situation. So not just, perform an health check before an inspection or before an audit, but do that on an ongoing basis and monitor your TMF status to verify that you are in compliance with your processes, with the regulation, with your expectation. So next slide, Kim, please. Thank you. In terms of detailed planning, it's very important to define who is going to do what, when, where, and how. These are, let's say, the main pillars to define a planning for performing an health check. And next slide, please. What to check? Obviously, in a perfect and ideal world, we would check everything. I would check 100% of everything every time because I love TMF, but it's not possible. So you have to apply a risk-based approach. Also regulation, also health authority suggest you and ask you for a risk-based approach. And what does it mean? It means that you have to focus your resources and your time on high-risk area. And these high-risk area are, for example, sites that have an highest enrollings, or for example, sites that have a lot of number in terms of protocol deviation, or for example, other example can be all the aspects related to the GCP qualification of the staff, because they have to be trained on GCP. So it's very important to verify this qualification. Other items that can be high risk can be, for example, the monitoring, because it's part of our oversight responsibility as a sponsor. So monitoring can be very critical and high risk. Or otherwise, the IP accountability, because the IP is what the patient will receive. So it's very important to verify that all the process is in compliance. So it's very high risk. And for example, another aspect is the safety. We know that, safety reporting, there are lots of regulation requirements in terms of safety. So try to verify what are the high risk area. And these are just an example. And another things to be considered when it comes to high risk and risk, consider what happened in your clinical trial. So milestone and events. Whenever there is a protocol approval, whenever there is a regulatory submission approval in a country, maybe a high-risk country or a critical country for your clinical trial success, try to verify that particular moment in your trial master file. Whenever there is an event that was not planned in your planning of your clinical trial, such, for example, a new site, a new country, or maybe a protocol amendment, verify all the artifacts, all the documents that are related and linked to that particular event. So define the risk based on what's happening in your clinical trial. And then define the frequency. You can check it every day, you can check monthly, yearly, or just before an inspection, whenever it comes to this kind of activity. Obviously, because I love it, I would do every day, but we can't. But definitely, this according to your study design, according to the situation that you are living, according to the need of your company in that particular moment, you can define a frequency. And that frequency, I suggest always to define a standard one, but also to be flexible. Try to understand that maybe for some kind of studies, you need a higher frequency than what you plan and agree, and it can be justified because, for example, if it is a new clinical trial in a very specific new therapeutic area, you can maybe increase that standard, that frequency, and it can be fine. So define the frequency. Next slide. And who checks? Because these checks can be done internally by your study team, by a specific TMF team, by a QC team, or by just a person dedicated to TMF, or they can be outsourced as other activity that can be outsourced to a vendor, to a CRO, to a consultant. So define also who is responsible for performing this check. So say that, obviously, what does it mean? It means to define a methodology. It means that you have to define a QC methodology, who is going to do what, when, at what time, with a risk-based approach, with the frequency of, I don't know, quarterly basis. So these are all part of a methodology. And this is very important to ensure the consistency across all the people that are performing this kind of review of QC on TMF. And define the completeness cross-check, because again, it's not just a matter of defining the document QC, but also the other links with the processes and with the other document inside the TMF. In one word, define a QC strategy. And to define a QC strategy, if we go to next slide, means use the metrics, because we always repeat that TMF is not just collection of documents. And that's true, because TMF is a source of very relevant data when it comes to your business, your clinical trial management, your processes, so you can understand how many documents with quality issue do you have, for example, or you can understand the other relevant data inside your TMF, like for example, what types of quality issue do we have? Duplicate, misfiled. So starting to understand the reason of that quality issue, the source of the quality issue, can bring you to make a more informed decision to improve your process. Or use other quality issue, like for example, when the document was filed. If it was filed, in a timely manner, or maybe 6 months after it was created, and all this kind of quality issue. If it is aligned with your process timing. So these are all the information that you can find inside your TMF, and it can help you to define the better strategy based on your current situation. Next slide, please. Yes, and obviously if all the documents have been filled. So now that you have understood that at Montrium, we love to perform TMF health checks, I want to know if you perform regular health checks on your TMF.
The poll is now live, so if everyone heads over to the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see that it is live, and you can select your answer or give your input. So we're going to give this like a few seconds. Head on over to the right side panel of your screen. The third poll is now live. And we're seeing some answers coming in. Okay, I think everyone has gotten the information now that the poll is live, because I'm seeing some answers coming in now. Okay, we're gonna give this another 5 seconds, give people some time to answer. And we're ending the poll. So it looks like 86% said yes, 8% said no, and 5% said I don't know.
Okay, super. So I hope that you don't stop just to find the issue, just to understand that your TMF, is not inspection ready because maybe you did your health check, and so you find some quality issue, some completeness issue, some timeliness issue. Don't stop there. So develop a root cause analysis, perform a root cause analysis to understand what is the reason of that issue, and develop corrective action and also preventive action. Try to avoid in the future the repetition of that issue. For example, if we see in next slide, if you find a document that has no signature, with a signature is missing, what are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to try to retrieve the document with the signature, but to try to retrieve that particular signature. This is a corrective action because you try to correct an issue that you found after a quality check on the document. And if we go to next slide, we're going to see on the other end a preventive action. So, for example, if you understand that some issues are related to the lack of knowledge of your resources in TMF knowledge, define a role-based TMF training plan. Define specific training based on the role that that particular resources is covering inside the TMF management process. And I want to conclude to give you a real example of a case studies on TMF Health Check. So as I told you before, we perform a health check for several companies, and we were called by a sponsor to perform this kind of inspection readiness verification on their TMF just before an audit. And we performed this assessment and check at study level and at country level for a particular site. What we found out, thanks to this health check, were different critical findings. GCP critical finding. First of all, a lack of regular oversight and documented QC on the TMF. There was no risk-based approach for QC as the regulator asked, and there were deviations from study plan and company SOP, especially when it comes to process for TMF management. So several issues, several GCP gaps that need to be fixed immediately as soon as possible and try to avoid them to be repeated in the future. So what we did was our SOP and working instruction assessment that were used currently in that company. We define and develop a new process with them for the SOP on TMF management and all the related working instruction. We develop the SOP, the content of the SOP, but we didn't limit to that. We also did the training on the SOP and on some training on TMF principles. So let's say that we developed some corrective action, try to fix immediately the issue that was your process is not working well, is not in compliance with the requirement of regulatory authority and ICGCP. So we need to design a new process and we need to develop a new SOP for you. But also your people need to be trained on that new process. They need to be, aware and ready to follow the new process, because otherwise you will be always in deviation and there will always be GCP gaps. And also a development of a TMF more robust culture inside your company can help you to prevent from future GCP finding in your TMF status. So say that I'm really, really sorry about all the technical issue that we had, but even if I ran a lot, there are some times for the question, and please also note that I will be available by email if you want to reach me out for any further question and more detail on health check and inspection readiness. And apologize for the technical issue, but as Kim said, this is the live event, and so when it's live, things like this, especially for Murphy Law, can happen, so.
Exactly. Wouldn't be a live event if there wasn't some type of glitch or something that needed to be taken care of. And I really do appreciate you taking the time, Donna, even with all of the challenges that happen, that you were able to bounce back and deliver such a great presentation. I'm just going to say, I don't think that we have enough time for, let me just put my camera back on. I don't think we are going to have enough time to get through any questions. So what I would like to do is just let you guys know that you should head over to the lounge area and just go and mingle with people in the lounge and get to know your different peers. I don't know, Donna, if you want to take some time to just go into the lounge area. If anybody had any questions, you can talk to her directly if you have the time to do so. Otherwise, as Donna had mentioned, we have all the information of the people who asked the questions, and we will definitely send that out to you guys, and she will reach out to you after the session ends so that she can answer some of your questions. So I want to say thank you guys so much. Yes, thank you guys so much for your patience and for joining us for our 9 a.m. session. Now, please head over to the lounge or visit Montrium's booth. And also don't forget to fill out our survey that we have going where you can win a pair of TMF Converses. I would show that to you right now, but something is wrong with my screen at the moment. So I will see, same thing, technical difficulties. So just head on over and make sure to go into the survey and fill that out. Thank you and have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. And bye. Thank you.